Welcome to Mixed Reactions episode 101 and a happy early Thanksgiving to all our watchers. I am Casey Merritt, joined by my fellow co-hosts Ian Blackwell, Justin Duncan, and Nicholas Mitchell. How you doing today, Ian?
Pretty good, man. Riding high after the Rams win. Stafford for MVP, but we'll get into all that for in a second. It's good to be here.
Good deal. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. How's it going today, Nick?
Um, you know that song by Usher that says "This is my confession." I've changed that confession word to depression.
Yeah, it's not getting any better for Minnesota right now, buddy. How's it going today for you, Justin?
Uh, you, you know how Turkey's got tryptophan, and I think the Patriots are stumbling into the bye week. But hey, win's a win.
Absolutely, a win is a win. Now, one thing that we wanted to talk about right off the bat, just because of that, it's such an impressive performance. Ian, once again, man, your Rams just look almost borderline unbeatable right now. Talk about it.
Yeah, man. It was pleasantly surprise. It was a pleasantly surprising. Going into every week. I mean, no, this week I did pick him to win, but like going into the Seattle week, like I feel doubtful, but then as the week goes on, it's like I'm more and more confident. I mean, the bottom line is like our defense is playing insane. Our offense is playing insane. Stafford's easily the front runner for MVP. I think I could check the odds, but I'm pretty sure he pushed himself pretty far ahead. And then Devontae Adams, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's still breaking people. You saw him run into the tunnel. And then obviously our defense coming up huge. We had an interception, Durant, and then Forbes gets another one. This is what his third week in a row with a pick. I mean, in this game, even though I mean it was 31-7 at halftime, I mean it felt like it was over after we scored the first 2 touchdowns. Our defense was everywhere. I mean they just couldn't get anything going. I mean Baker struggled. Obviously, they put Teddy Bridgewater in the game. I mean they were essentially, it seemed like, waving the white flag by halftime. But I mean, no, I think we're the most all around, our best all around team in the league, and it's amazing how far I knew we were going to be good this year, but it's amazing how far the Rams have come since the Philly game. I think if we play Philly again, I mean, it could go still either way. I don't know, those late game stuff trauma after the first one, but I mean, we look complete, man. I'm really satisfied.
When you're talking about Stafford for MVP, it's so hard to even come up with a reasonable argument for it. I saw an argument against it. My apologies. I saw a stat today, I believe it was. He's thrown 27 touchdowns since his last interception. That is unheard of in today's NFL with how pass happy this league is. And so big props to Matt Stafford. Obviously, big props to the scheme that they run. They have two incredible receivers in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They have a hell of a run game. It's like I don't see a weakness in them. We've talked about it over and over again on the show a plethora amount of times. To me, right now, they would be my odds-on favorite to hoist the Lombardi Trophy for sure.
Yeah, and I mean 30 passing touchdowns. I mean, he's on pace right now. What do we played 11 games to get? He's gonna get 40. He's gonna get
Yeah,
40 passing touchdowns, but I don't know, man. It's just really cool seeing where I mean both of our tight ends come in, and I mean neither one of them really makes any mistakes. Parkinson, I mean, I don't, did he score? I think he did score this week. I believe he scored the first touchdown. Let me double check. Yeah, he did score. But I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a guy out there that doesn't know what's going on, and it just goes back to the preparation. I mean, time is gonna tell, man. But I'm really happy with the spot that we're in. That's all I got to say about that.
I think this is a continuation of how they played last season. I think if they didn't play in Philly at all and it was in a warm place or just snowed on in general in the game, I think they take it right out. I don't think Saquon Barkley has his good game, and I don't think that Philly makes it to the Super Bowl because of that. I think also this year that they should have beat Philly. They had him right by the head. With that being said, friggin' all the reason why he's MVP is not just because he's throwing up these freaking stats, is that he's playing hard competition. He's in a hard division, and that makes it even harder to go against him for MVP. What's his weakness? What is a point where you can say, well, this guy is better than him at this part. Well, if you're gonna go with Drake May, who's really the biggest competition that they played? Tampa Bay, because well, we just saw friggin' the Rams dismantle them. So I don't know how close it is for you guys, but I don't even see anybody in the rear view.
The only thing that I think is you want to call a weakness for Matt Stafford's case right now is his age, and even then, that's not much of a case anyway.
I'll worry about
Yeah, I
that
don't
after
think
the season. Right now, I mean, I'm not that, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm never gonna doubt his age again. I did that before the season. I was skeptical and shit. I mean, I'm with you. It can hurt him, but I don't think that's gonna. I don't think we're gonna see him
No,
burn out in the
but that's
playoffs or
not
anything.
really an argument to keep the award away from him.
no. I say the age isn't anything where you'd want to take the MVP from him. A age concept could come into play if you're discussing the quarterbacks you'd want to start a franchise with.
Right,
Then you'd want to
exactly.
put the
So
age argument in there,
right,
but
and again,
not during this particular season.
there's nothing really you could say that should keep the MVP away from him right now if the season ended today. Not even close.
No, I mean the only other relative player that I would put in the MVP discussion is still Jonathan Taylor, especially when you take a look at what happened this past weekend against Kansas City. And it's when Jonathan Taylor can't carry the team onto his back, they struggle. And so that really does show the true value that he's brought into this franchise all season long.
I'd make a puncher's chance argument for Myles Garrett because he is the only good thing that's happening on the Browns. Albeit, Shedeur Sanders had a nice little debut this last weekend.
Garrett's gonna set the record. I don't see any way that he's not.
Yeah, he's going to cruise to Defensive Player of the Year. I don't even think that should be an argument at this point.
What about the sack record? You think he's gonna get
Oh,
it?
I think he's going to blow it out of the water.
Me too.
He should get it. I definitely think he should get it. I mean, unless he just has a couple slip up games where he doesn't record a sack over the next few weeks, I don't foresee him missing
He has
this.
to average 2 sacks a game throughout the rest of the season. I mean, there's chances are good he's going to have another 5 sack game.
That's how you can tell above a love talent player.
Yeah.
He's doing this against really good teams also. Did it against
Yeah,
Green Bay. I mean, he's recorded multiple sacks against really tough teams. That right there in itself is a hard thing to do. So I do give Myles Garrett that. But as
look
far
at
as
the
MVP
Browns defense
wise,
in general. The Browns
yeah.
defense in general. I mean, you got to think they sacked Geno 10 times this past Sunday.
I heard that on the radio, and I was like, "No, did they actually sack him 10 times?"
I heard the same thing. I was like, there's no way with
Shh.
10 times. I looked, I was like, holy crap. 10 times for 77
But
yards
then I
of lost
thought I was
yardage.
like, "It's the Browns. It's Myles Garrett. Maybe that's insane." And it
Yeah,
was
they're
in
the Cleveland Browns, but still.
and then Shador. Man, I'm just the reactions from him are so extreme, but good on the Browns for winning a game, man.
That's
So
how it should be.
let's go from Shador Sanders, who made his first start, to another quarterback who made his sixth start, and JJ McCarthy. Nick, what is going on with your boy?
Hurting me, dude. He just doesn't know what's going on out there. Apparently, every time I give him more benefit of the doubt, it gets worse and worse. I was upset with 150 yards, and I'm like, now I just want to break 100 again. He really has just declined so fast. And I think what they're saying is his footwork's off. That's the reason why he's overthrowing these balls. He's over thinking way too much, and I agree 100%. I think that the more the fact that if you keep him out there and these 3-and-out start happening, the defense starts messing up, and then it's a trickle effect of what's going on with him. Then he feels like he has to be the guy to keep you back into the game. That's where you bring in more and more of him, less of the run, and then you're in a hole. I'll tell you what changed that whole game. We were staying with Green Bay. JJ McCarthy, he was all right. Starting to look like, it could something happen. I don't know. But they muffed the punt. And that right there, we were down a touchdown. And then after that, they muffed the punt. Green Bay scores. And I'm like, there's the end of it right there. And that right there is a dig in a hole. As you can see, Shedeur Sanders came in with Cleveland, and he did what he had to do against a bad team. He got his feet wet. He got in there, and he won. Remember last week, everybody's like, oh, geez, he couldn't do nothing against Baltimore. Baltimore's a really good team. You want a rookie to come in there and shine, and there's nothing there. This team doesn't feel like, for me, JJ McCarthy hasn't had that level game where he can feel like he can get comfortable. 2 weeks, I think we play Washington. This week we play Seattle, and he's in the concussion protocol. So, I mean, we need to get to that easy game. Get him in there and have him like, I need a Raiders game. I really do. I need something where it's so bad, a bad team, where I can actually really see where he's at.
Are
Commanders
you?
in 2 weeks.
That's really what it needs to be. I mean, are you still at the point with JJ where you want to give him to the end of next year before you have your full decision on him? Because I hate to keep bringing up stats that I saw in articles that I've seen, but I saw something today where out of every quarterback that started a game since like 2007, he's the lowest rated outside of Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, I believe it. The way everything's going for him, I mean, I need him to stay because what else are we going to do? We're going to go draft another quarterback, restart. You think Justin Jefferson's going to be okay with that? If anything, they have to go get a veteran quarterback. And everybody's like, well, Mac Jones. And I'm like, well, if we do that, I mean, then we're going to have to trade with San Francisco because they still have another year on his contract with him. So we're back in the same boat as far as like, and the whole thing, we should have kept Darnold. Hey, I don't have nothing against Darnold, but he still threw 4 picks against that Rams team. He can't prove that he can beat those tough teams. And I mean, we'll see. Like I said, you don't know where everybody is until someone hoists Lombardi up. That's when I'll say, all right, we made a mistake. Until then, I need a rookie quarterback that can produce a little bit. And I think JJ McCarthy's just having, it's just rookie jitters. I mean, it's everything that's all, there's too much pressure on him and he's collapsing. It's that simple. Should I want him to stay? I mean, obviously, I'd like to have him have like a little bit of improvement, but to
Yeah.
be honest, I mean, this is, I don't know where our backup could even hang. If our backup struggles, he's a rookie quarterback, or, I mean, it's just going to be it's just going to be horrible. So, in my opinion, you got to keep JJ and keep him going.
JJ's play reminds me of early Sam Darnold with the Jets, kind of seeing ghost situation in a way. Just like he's got the yips, for lack of a better phrase, and I
think it's just.
I've said it before. Minnesota is my NFC team. They always have been, but I don't see them really going anywhere with JJ the way that he's going. I don't know. I honestly don't know if you can give him another year.
Well, I mean, with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison on the clock here, and everybody's ticking down, how good is our offense really going to be? You know, like where are we going to be in 2 years? Is Justin Jefferson going to declare a trade? Like if something's going to give. If something doesn't start producing, this is what I think. I think Justin Jefferson, he's going to actually have to go through this year, and I think after that, this is where we really prove I trust Kevin O'Connell. Whatever he does, I'm with it. But you got to remember, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, all these guys are now producing somewhere because of one man, and that's freaking Kevin O'Connell. So I can't go against him. If he believes JJ can do it, I'm going to believe. And if he doesn't, he'll probably be on the chopping block with him. So
I mean, he is the quarterback whisperer. I'm not going to deny that. He absolutely is.
I don't take this season as a loss, but I mean, if I could just see something where JJ could just throw it up and make these like freaking unbelievable throws, it would start helping me a little bit. But the comfort zone is very, very bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you have to take the season as a loss by any stretch, but this is definitely what I would call like a learning curve type season where you need to see what you have from everybody. And maybe that might include, again, maybe reevaluating the Carson Wentz situation too to see if he may be a better option for you next year other than JJ. I know because JJ's selling that rookie contract and we pretty much know what we're getting from Carson Wentz. But from a young quarterback, you want to see that development week to week, and it just doesn't seem like that's happening with JJ. Of course, they got 4 total yards of offense in the second half against Green Bay.
Oh, yeah. Michael Parsons.
I got a quick question. I haven't been following Minnesota as well this year just because it kind of got the Drake May blinders going on, which is understandable because of how the season we're having. So it's something to focus on for me. But has Minnesota got a run game going to support JJ at all? Because obviously they got the receivers, but if he doesn't have a run game to work with, then he's having to run and throw for his life, and they can key on it.
That's the problem. They have it. They do have the run game, and then they go away from it every time. It's like they get it going, they get it rolling, and then all of a sudden they say, well, JJ, you haven't thrown for 40 freaking passes yet, so we're going to make sure you do that now. And I've seen drives where it's 3 and outs, and it's all 3 passes. It's not run, run, run. It's run, it's pass, 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 and then we'll run it twice, and then we'll go pass, pass, pass again. We went three and out like freaking, I think three times, and I want to say that they only ran it probably three times in those three and outs. Like
But
nothing,
now
nothing
with
was seeing
that,
it.
you have to put that on Kevin O'Connell because he's the offensive coordinator and head coach.
Yeah,
So it
and
is Kevin O'Connell's fault in many regards.
I think Kevin O'Connell thinks the way I think. I think he thinks that JJ can handle this, and sometimes you're just gonna go against your guy and just play safe games, and it doesn't even feel like they're even doing that. I don't know what they're really doing sometimes.
I think what they're doing right now, I'd say, I think they're. I'm not saying they've thrown in the towel on this season because I don't think many teams nor coaches do that. But it almost feels like they understand where they are, excuse me, as a team this year. And so they're trying to throw multiple things at the wall to see what sticks and see what they can build off in going into next season and maybe building the confidence of McCarthy, building his rapport with JJ, building his rapport with Jordan Addison. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, and that's why they're going away from the run, especially in the situation where I believe they're 4-6 currently, last in the
Yes.
division. So
Uh
Four and
yes,
I
four
seven,
and
don't
I
six or
think.
four
see
and
a
seven.
4-7. So I don't see the playoffs in the Minnesota's future this year. So maybe they're taking a different type of game plan and trying to build for the future and build the rapport between a young quarterback and his receivers.
I think it's hard to ignore the good that JJ has done. You got to think, even with the games that he has played bad, we've had opportunity besides this Green Bay game to win. He came through at the end of that friggin' Chicago game a
He
couple
did.
weeks ago. He beat the Lions at home. I think, geez, I feel like a broken record. I've said this already. Baltimore, he still had a chance, ran out of time. I mean, there's just moments where it's not your game. And like I said, we haven't played an opponent that is not playoff qualified. Like every opponent JJ has played, he's been injured for the Cleveland Brown game. He was injured for the other games. Like every game he's played has all been the time to play the playoff teams. Baltimore, Green Bay, Chicago. It's just we need to
Yeah,
get to that Washington Commanders game. And if he's out for this weekend, rest up. Let's see what you can really do against a bad team, and maybe we can go from there.
fair take. It's a fair take. Now,
Yeah,
Justin, do you want to go? Do you want me to go?
you can go.
Well, obviously, this was a fantastic win for Dallas. This is the type of win that can truly propel a season, right? Especially you're down to your arch rival 21 to nothing. You come back and win the game. You score 24 straight points. Your defense holds them scoreless in the second half. 8 straight possessions of not scoring for Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley was held to under 35 yards rushing. George Pickens outgained the Eagles in the second half by himself. Of course, the strip of Saquon, the strip on the punt return. Dak had another phenomenal game outside of that red zone interception. Um, this defense has done what I wanted it to do, and it's still not a good defense, but it is no longer the worst defense in football. These trades that they have made have been significant help, and it is what they needed. Obviously, CD has almost like what JJ McCarthy had for Justin says. He has the yips right now. This is the second game against Philadelphia where he's had a case of the drops. It's not something that I like to see, but I do like to see the fact that we have another beast on the outside that can produce when another receiver is struggling. Obviously, they have a huge game coming up this weekend. We'll get to that this Thursday, actually. We'll get to that in the pick segment. But you guys know how last week I was saying I was thinking of this, but I didn't want to say it out loud. That George Pickens may be a better fit than CD Lamb in Dallas. I'm getting to the point where I'm not giving up on CD. He is having a little bit of a down season. So it's not so much the lack of what I'm seeing from CD, but more of what I am seeing from George Pickens. That I think George Pickens just might be an overall better receiver than CD Lamb. I mean, you could make the case. I'm not saying he is, but just from a production standpoint, you could make the case that George Pickens has been the best receiver in the league all season long. There are certain factors to his game that CD doesn't have. George can go high point the ball. George is a better catch in traffic receiver. He is better run after catch than CD. CD obviously has him in route running, and CD has him in speed. But other than that, you'd want to give a lot of these other categories in the favor of Pickens. And if it comes to a point where Jerry can only keep one, I don't know if I would hate if he kept Pickens over Lamb. Is that crazy?
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. I mean, on any day, either one of them can be the number one. And one thing I wanted to ask you, what wide receiver duo would you rather have, Adams and Nakua or Pickens and Lamb? I'd say
Pickens and
Pickens
Lamb.
and
That's
Lamb.
not
Yeah.
not even being biased. Pickens and Lamb.
I mean, I'd say we have the second best duo personally.
You guys have a phenomenal duo. I
Nick's
don't
got third
necessarily
with
think that.
arguably the best receiver of the game, talent
I
wise.
don't know. I don't know if
Talent-wise-
Jefferson's the best receiver anymore.
Talent wise, Jefferson's probably still the best.
Yeah,
I'd still
I mean,
pick
obviously,
Jefferson over anybody.
yeah, you got to think you can't really fault his season because with the struggles that JJ's having.
Exactly.
But one thing about Pickens, guys, is did you know he has more receiving yards than the entire Steelers receiving core combined this year?
Not surprised in the slightest.
That is otherworldly. Now, is this the type of win that you guys see in just from a outside perspective for Dallas, especially when you got to think you're down 21 points? That is the type of game that the Cowboys teams over the last 10 to 15 years, they don't win that. And I think that's a testament to what I've been saying all year long, Brian Schottenheimer. He has done a remarkable job with this team. But do you think this is the type of win that could maybe propel a playoff run for them?
I think it's the right place, right time.
They
I
have
think
a gauntlet though.
I
The
think
Eagle-
I think it can give him a good playoff push. I don't know if it'll get him into a playoff situation.
I think this is the right time, right place, right time kind of game. The Eagles are imploding, and there's a lot of struggles out there for them, and they're winning barely, and then all of a sudden they're killing Dallas, and then they start falling apart. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. Everything's starting to go bad for Philly. It's finally happened. They shouldn't be having these records. They should be losing a lot more. But for some reason, they keep on winning. And I was like, it's bound to happen. I didn't expect Dallas to do it, though. I thought this was going to happen against Detroit. I thought this was going to happen against Kansas City. They found ways to win. And of course, A.J. Brown has over 100 yards and a touchdown, and he's smiling in the locker room like he won the frigging game. I'm like, dude, you really pissed me off. I hate him so much. I know he's a crybaby, and I can't stand him. And he's the only one having fun while they're all out there. Jalen Hurts is trying to figure out, I got to figure it out. They know what's going on. There's a fucking bad cookie in the locker room. It's A.J. Brown. And what should happen is the Eagles and the Cowboys should do a gentleman's trade and give A.J. Brown to the friggin' Cowboys and give C.D. Lamb to the Eagles. And there you go. It'd be perfect.
Absolutely not. I do not want A.J. Brown. Absolutely not.
As far as your George Pickens here, we had a discussion. I've been saying this. There's tier one and there's 1A and 1B. It's either Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and you keep on telling me that C.D. Lamb is in that 1A or 1B. And now all of a sudden, George Pickens comes on your team, and now you don't even know if you want to keep your 1A or 1B or 1C. So you got to let me know that one wide receiver changed your whole output on a guy that produced for your team for the last 5 years.
Nick, because when we were having those conversations, CD was producing at the same level as
But
Jefferson.
he doesn't feel the same. That's what I'm saying. He's not.
Why?
I'm not
What
saying
about him doesn't feel?
He
does
not
the same
guy.
things.
You just told me. You said he doesn't have the route running as better as George Pickens. He doesn't have the hands like George Pickens.
No,
Jefferson
I said his route running is better.
That.
I said his route running and speed. I said his route running and speed is better than Pickens. I said everything else I'd probably give to Pickens.
So pretty much a regular wide receiver. George Pickens has what you want. He has the strength. He has the strength, and he has the ability to get to get up there. And that's what Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase have. is what you want. That friggin' catch. That's what you want. CeeDee Lamb doesn't have that.
Nick, but here's the thing. Nobody thought Pickens was this good when he got to Dallas.
Correct.
There was conversations if T. Higgins, if Jordan Addison were better than George Pickens. I don't think that's a conversation anymore.
No, because he found that right system. He found the right guy. He found what he wanted. But I'm saying though, with CeeDee Lamb, you can't put him on the back burner after one season like
I'm
that.
not.
But the thing is I think Jerry, I think a lot of them would. And I don't think that
I
George
think you
Pickens.
can make the argument that the Pickens Lamb 1A 1B has flipped. That Pickens is A and Lamb is B.
That's what I'm saying. It could be
Yes.
any given day kind of thing.
It's like,
Really.
okay, think of this. We know Puka is the guy for the Rams. Devontae Adams is too, but he's still great. We feel that. We see it.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb doesn't give me that I'm the one and you're the two. George Pickens came right in and said, I'm that guy. And he took it.
Nick, CeeDee Lamb's had a 1,700-yard season before.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying it doesn't take much when you see what a real wide receiver can do. I'm not disagreeing that CeeDee Lamb ain't great. I'm saying, though, that George Pickens can do it. And it didn't take long. Because now, if everybody looks back, okay, think of this. If George Pickens got cut tomorrow, the Dallas Cowboys fan base would be shocked. I can tell you this. If CeeDee Lamb got cut the next week, everybody would be like, at least we still have Pickens. And that's exactly what I'd say, too.
But I get what you're saying, Nick. But here's the thing.
Can't have 1A and 1A on the same team.
We're having this conversation, right? But before this season started, nobody would have thought George Pickens was better than CeeDee Lamb. So
I understand that.
And so let me ask you guys this too, because this is something that's on some Dallas Cowboys
10 minutes, by the way.
Forums. Some real one quick question that I'll just get into the Patriots. Do you think this is in Lamb's head and it's a psychological thing? Anytime he sees Pickens goes make a big play, it's in his head that he has to go make one too, and it's preventing him from playing freely.
No.
I didn't think so either. I read that in a forum. I was like, I don't see it that way, but I didn't want to look at it from a biased angle either.
No, I look at it as Lamb just hasn't been able to make the plays this year as opposed to other years because they're keying on him, leaving Pickens to run rampant.
Okay. Totally fair.
I mean, that's fair, but some of those catches he makes are still like, I don't know, man. I think it's
ungodly.
one of those.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
I don't know.
That catch in double coverage this past Sunday, just absurd.
There was one, was it this past game or the one before where he caught? I don't think they counted the touchdown, but he just snagged it. It's like nothing.
That was against the Raiders.
He's great, man. Like he's turned into now, I don't know, man. I mean, Tomlin's always been a player's coach, but I mean, it doesn't work out for everybody. We saw it didn't work out for AJ Brown, so
I think he wanted to get better at detail
Antonio
just
Brown,
because
sorry.
Aaron Rodgers. If it wasn't Aaron Rodgers coming in, they would have never probably got rid of Pickens. I think Aaron Rodgers wanted some veteran wide receiver, and I think that's what Tomlin wanted for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they made a bad decision because no one, like Mayor said, no one was thinking this about George Pickens last year. So they did good. They got a pick out of it, call it a day. Just lucky. It really is. You see somebody and he produced.
Now, Justin, you guys obviously, as you said earlier, win's a win. It wasn't their prettiest game. It wasn't Drake May's prettiest game. I don't want to use the word lucky, but fortunate that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase weren't playing. But you're sitting at 10-2, first team to reach 10 wins this season. I'm sure you really don't have too much to complain about.
Not a lot to complain about necessarily, but I saw glimpses of Joe Flacco pulling Joe Flacco bullshit shit. And especially towards the end, I was like, oh, fuck, it's Flacco doing his shit again. But
he's going to get us again.
Right, exactly. Honestly, I thought that when he got that fourth down conversion, it's like, fucking hell, again? Shit. When claiming on Chase on when he drew him off sides on the fourth down play. But my biggest concern which were greatly alleviated today was the injury bug hitting like a truck.
Yeah.
Will Campbell and Jared Wilson both going down your rookie offensive left side of your line, who have been effectively holding the fort fairly well, all things considered. I mean, I wouldn't put Will Campbell as one of the best left tackles in the league by any stretch, but for a rookie, he's doing it right. Solid. I think he's probably better served as a guard, as many folks around here are saying. He's probably best suited for a guard position as opposed to left tackle, just based on his skill set and his size and such. But he's doing well, all things considered. But he's got an MCL sprain, which is going to keep him week to week. Maybe I'd say 4 weeks out. Jared Wilson, high ankle sprain, also week to week. We've got the Giants this week, which again, not a pushover because they push Detroit to the overtime. But we've got the bye week, so we've got time to get them healthy for the playoff run. So I'm not as concerned about that, thankfully. If there were more of a long-term injury, then I'd say, well, shit. My big problem with the weekend, though, Drake was floating balls left and right.
I was going to ask you if you're concerned.
He did not have the zip on the ball like he's had the last 10, 12 weeks.
You think it's a fatigue thing?
I think it may have something to do with it. I think that definitely could be a contributing factor. It also could be for the fact they had 3 extra days. So because they played Thursday night football, then they had a couple extra days off. So the routine's thrown. Because last I checked, the Patriots didn't even have a Thursday night game while Drake was playing.
So I got a question for you regarding, obviously you guys are riding, I believe, a 9-game win streak currently.
Correct.
This is going to sound weird, but I wouldn't want to be on a 13 to 14 game win streak heading into the playoffs. I think that would commit an immense amount of pressure and not enough time to kind of set back, rebuild, and restructure. I'm not saying where would you like them to lose, but because of course you never really want to lose in the NFL season. But where is that a point where you're like, okay, I'm almost relieved that they lost a game so they can kind of take a deep breath, reorganize, re-strategize, and don't have that immense pressure of such a large win streak heading into the playoffs?
Either the Buffalo or Baltimore game, either one of those. Because then you have
the
Jets in Miami.
I was thinking you were going to say this week because it's an out-of-conference game, so it really wouldn't have any impact.
In some regard, yes, I suppose it's true, but at the same time, what they need is they need the number 1 seed because you don't want to go on the road to Denver, you don't want to go on the road to Indy, and you damn well do not want Kansas City coming into your yard game 1 of the play in the wild cards weekend.
That's fair. So probably not Buffalo then. You probably wouldn't want
Baltimore, or like because depending on what happens this weekend, you may have the division wrapped up by the time Baltimore comes into town. I mean, Buffalo comes into town. It's possible, depending what Buffalo does this weekend. That very well could end up being the Patriots have the division wrapped up before Buffalo even walks into Foxborough. It's possible. But I suppose if they were to be, if they had the number 1 seed locked up and they could rest guys for either the Jets or the Dolphins game, then I would be okay with that one. Was one like, okay, we let that one go because we need the rest.
Yeah,
that's you totally have the number 1 seed. They need the number 1 seed no matter which way you spin it.
Agreed. I agree with that.
I really think that New England showed what they are. I think when you're going against a team that you should beat the way they have injuries, Jamar Chase wasn't out there. T. Higgins got hurt at the end. Mm-hmm. I think that New England should have put a lot more of a beat down on them, and they had opportunity. And Drake
had opportunity after every freaking opportunity, 4th and 1 twice.
And they didn't have to pay. And they only almost had to pay for it a little bit. And you know what? They stayed and they held their ground. But this is what I was saying about how where the great teams start showing they're great and the average teams, I don't care what your record is or how much of a win streak you're on, when you're not playing up to par towards the end of the season, it starts fading out. And I saw that with my Vikings last year where we were killing
Yeah.
it. And then all of a sudden we were on friggin' a 2-game losing streak going against friggin' the Rams in the playoffs. And this is how it really is. Where you guys are going to be, can Mike Vrabel hold this team together? And can Drake May not make mistakes to keep this team afloat? And that's really going to be
I'm
a big
not
question.
really worried about that necessarily because they weren't supposed to be in this position going into this year. We were
Things
supposed to be.
change.
I know they do. I know. But I'm not going to worry about it because we're exceeding every expectation that was given on us going into the season. Every single one. Right now, this is house money. So however far we make it, it's gravy.
Just brings more pressure for next season.
This
I
is
disagree
true.
with that though, Justin, because I think they've played so well this season that the expectation should have changed.
I'm not saying they shouldn't change, but I'm saying the long-term expectations that we need that just to keep yourself sane, because there have been people around here who are saying, let's go to San Francisco. Pump the brakes. We're not ready for that yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah, no, I think they're a long way from it. Hey, we got under a minute left. I don't want it to cut off. So
No, it's
yeah,
all good.
we'll see you guys for part two. Sorry, I gotta find a quicker way to communicate. My bad.
It's
No,
all
Um,
you're
good.
good. We'll see you on the pick segment.
all right.